Hello everybody, how are you guys doing? This is Rob of Ro2R Review. Welcome back to the channel, and today we finally get to talk about E3. So E3 is finally feeling like it's upon us. It is really creeping up on us, guys, which is crazy exciting. Obviously E3 is one of everyone's favorite time of the year, in the gaming world of course. And with that comes a lot of rumors and announcements about when different companies are going to be holding their presentations, their press conferences, some rumors about the lineups of things that we might expect to see or hear from, get trailers, gameplay demos available on the E3 floor, all of that good stuff. And obviously, in the Nintendo community, we get really excited about what Nintendo is going to do, what are they going to reveal to us. We know Smash Brothers is coming later this year, so we expect that to be a big focus at E3. And, you know, recently, I'm actually a couple of days late on this news, but recently, Nintendo finally did put out sort of a release of what their official schedule and plan for E3 is going to be, so I wanted to go over that, kind of read the little kind of title card thing that they put out, letting everyone know what they're going to be doing, and kind of talk about what I think it means we can expect. So like I said, it was a few days ago that Nintendo put out a release about what they're going to do, so let's go over the couple of bullet point things that they gave us. First up is the Splatoon 2 World Championship opening rounds on June 11th from 3:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. Finals on June 12th. Next up is the big cheese, the big thing that we're all waiting to really see and excited for, their video presentation. Curious that that's the name for it this year. They've actually, every year they have a different name for the thing. I don't know why they don't just pick what they want to call it, but either way, something really boring as video presentation is what they're calling it. Get a look at Nintendo Switch titles for 2018, including the recently announced Super Smash Bros. Game. Starts at 9 a.m. Pacific time on June 12th, which is Tuesday. Following that, of course, we knew to expect the Nintendo Treehouse Live. 3 days of Nintendo Switch gameplay with Nintendo Treehouse members and developers. Starts with the recently announced Super Smash Bros. Game right after the video presentation, similar to Mario Odyssey last year. And then, really exciting, this is something we didn't necessarily know they were going to do, a Super Smash Bros. Invitational for 2018. Starts right after the conclusion of the Splatoon 2 World Championship Finals on June 12th. So there you have it. That's Nintendo's official plan that they've laid out so far for what we can expect at E3 this year. Really no surprises. They've been doing the championships and the invitationals the last couple of years, which has actually been really great and a lot of fun. It's not like my favorite thing and it doesn't get me crazy excited, but I do love that Nintendo will get gamers together to play games and showcase that as one of the main things that they're presenting to the world during a conference or a convention like this. It's like, hey, yes, we're all here to talk business and to show trailers and to show gameplay and talk to developers and talk about all the industry inside things, which is certainly cool and we care about that, but they're also like, hey, E3 is a convention that gets people together about games. Why don't we play games? Why don't we show gamers experiencing games and how fun it is to play our products, at least, what we make as Nintendo? And that's really cool, man. Like, even though it's not the thing that I necessarily look forward to or really super care about, I do absolutely appreciate and admire that is something that really only Nintendo is doing, at least to this degree. Now, when you try to look this over and kind of put the schedule together of what they're doing at E3, it's a little bit confusing because all these bullet points reference different points in time and it's not very smooth, but it seems like on Monday the 11th, at 3:30 p.m. Pacific time, they're going to start the Splatoon 2 Championship, and then it's going to end the following day on Tuesday. But I think on Tuesday the 12th, before the championships end, they're going to have the video presentation at 9, and then once that's done, they're going to have the Treehouse showcasing Super Smash Bros. But then I think after they've showcased Super Smash Bros. On the Treehouse, they're then going to maybe conclude Splatoon 2 and then move on to Smash Bros. Invitational after that. Because there's like so many things happening on Tuesday, June 12th. And so it's weird. I could be wrong on that. I'm just doing my best to put together sort of the schedule here based on this thing. Regardless, those first 2 days, Monday the 11th and Tuesday the 12th, is going to have a lot of stuff. Nintendo is really just going to bang it out. It's going to be crazy, super exciting. So, yeah, what does this tell us? What can we really gauge, you know, from what little information Nintendo has given us here? I think the big thing, we all obviously knew to expect this, this is going to be the Smash Brothers show. That is what Nintendo is really doing this year. That's what they're focusing on. And it's really just continuing the trend that they've been doing for the last few years at E3, where they really pick their main big release, or upcoming release at that time, I should say, and they focus on that. They really kind of center their whole E3 experience, what their show floor probably is going to look like, the big gameplay reveals and the demos, and in this case, an invitational of their newest, biggest game for the year. You know, first it was Breath of the Wild, then last year it was Mario Odyssey. This year, it turns out to be Super Smash Bros. And I have to say, it's super exciting and definitely the right move. Now, there's another curious piece of information that I think Nintendo's focus on Smash Bros. Gives us, and I'm just going to throw this out there as my own kind of conjecture. I'm going to take a shot in the dark and say that understanding how much they're planning on focusing on Smash Bros. This year probably tells us that there might not be that many other huge titles to release. I do think we're going to get some big titles, but as far as huge titles, the top tier titles, probably not as many. And you know, I just made a video a couple of days ago. My most recent conversation was about Smash Brothers and if it's enough to really cover Nintendo through the holiday as their biggest title. And I don't think that it is, even though it will be absolutely massive and sell like crazy. They need a couple of other things. And I do think at E3 we're going to get those things, but it's probably not going to be quite to this level. To me, Smash Brothers exists as one of Nintendo's top 4 franchises, really, which is Smash Brothers, Mario Kart, Zelda, and just Mario games. And Pokemon. We have to throw Pokemon in there as well, even though it's traditionally been only a handheld kind of experience. It's now coming to the Switch, so at this point that counts. And I'm also going to throw Metroid Prime 4 specifically because of that game's sort of how it exists as a game to look forward to. We never thought we would see it. It's coming to the Switch where everything sells great. So those are like the top kind of tier echelon games from Nintendo. But there's other games not quite that high that I think are still going to be coming. They're going to focus on Fire Emblem. Yoshi's going to be great, and they're going to showcase Yoshi for sure. But Yoshi isn't even to that level. I think Yoshi is seriously like a B-tier kind of franchise as far as the excitement level, the way it sails, the kind of experience it is. It's not very grand or epic in scope. I think it's going to be a phenomenal game. I am not talking about the quality of the game, you guys, but it's a smaller experience. It's just a great platformer. And again, it doesn't break into that Fire Emblem, Mario, Zelda, Smash Brothers tier of games. So they're going to focus on Smash Brothers, which shows us it's their biggest game for the rest of the year, I think. Yes, we're going to get Fire Emblem. I think, you've heard me say it, Animal Crossing is probably going to be announced or shown, or at least has a good chance at being announced or shown, and becoming a 2018 title. But when we look at their plans, they say they're showing Smash Brothers and focusing on that. They're also talking about 2018 Switch titles only. That's what they've said. They've even said it beyond just this little graphic they've put out. They've basically said we're focusing on immediate titles, nothing really for next year. I really think that that means we're not going to get some of those other huge titles that we're waiting for. And of course, to no surprise, the other huge titles I'm really talking about, it's Metroid Prime 4 and Pokemon, man. I swear I cannot have a conversation about Nintendo anymore without talking about those two games in some fashion. They just factor into so many things about Nintendo, their business model, their release structure, the things that we're excited about. I mean, everyone wants to know about these games. Everyone wants to say, ooh, I think Pokemon's going to come out this year, or ooh, I think Metroid's going to come out this year. I think both games are going to come out this year. Whatever. So many people have those opinions and theories. To me, not only have I been stating for a long time I don't think those games are 2018, once we see that Nintendo is releasing Smash at the end of this year, and that they're going to make it their focus for E3, I think that that more confirms that they don't need to or plan to release either Metroid or Pokemon this year. And if anything, I feel like Nintendo would be missing a huge opportunity. And this is given the fact that they love to make an E3 focused around one brand new game. I think they'd be missing an opportunity not to have an E3 focused entirely on Pokemon or entirely on Metroid Prime 4. I think they absolutely want to do that. They want to show us that they've made their whole E3 show floor and booth, you know, decked out like in a Metroid theme, where it looks like a Metroid planet and there's Samus and space pirates and Metroids floating all over, and they're really giving everyone the goods on this brand new Metroid experience. And I feel like Even more so than with Pokemon, because Pokemon doesn't really need assistance as far as getting people excited and selling through the roof. Metroid, as much as we all love it, it really isn't a huge sales tier series. And so I feel like Nintendo, more than Pokemon, would at least want to do one E3 focused on Metroid Prime 4 to give it the same treatment they gave Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey, and what they're going to do for Smash, to show the world this is the Metroid you should care about. This is the penultimate Samus adventure. You've never seen a game like this. You've never played a game like this. You've never experienced Samus like this, even though it's going to be the 4th Prime game. But you know what I'm saying. They want to show the world this is the time to buy into Metroid. The whole planet needs to get on board with Metroid Prime 4, and making that E3 experience focused on Metroid the way they did previous years, I think is what they're going to do. I think that is their plan for that game, and since they're not doing it this year, my theory and opinion, only a theory and opinion, guys, is that really probably further confirms. I doubt we'll see Metroid Prime 4 released this year, and I certainly doubt we're going to see it at E3. And until this was announced and confirmed this way, with the Smash focus, I did sort of think that we might actually see Metroid this year, that maybe they're going to slightly pull the veil off on that game. But I do pretty much doubt that that's going to happen. However, I will say one thing that's kind of counterpoint to that theory of mine. There is one sort of situation where I could see them wanting to show us a little bit of Metroid or Pokemon, assuming those are 2019 games. And it's that I kind of think Nintendo does want to give us one humongous, epic kind of surprise thing. I think they're willing to do one tiny tease for something for the future. And a couple of months back, I actually made a video on this as well. The idea that it seems like Nintendo has been learning a lesson in the Switch era and sort of operating with a different kind of business strategy in mind, where previously they didn't like to tease things for way in the future. But the last 2 years, or a year and a half, I should say, we really have seen them do that with games like Fire Emblem, just bringing up Metroid and Pokemon and stuff like that, Bayonetta 3, for example. Like, we've seen them just tease something for the way future with no indication of when it's going to come out. And so I do think we should believe them that, yes, they're going to focus on 2018 titles at E3. However, I could see them near the end of the presentation saying, okay, you know what, there's one thing that's planned for next year that we do want to show you a little bit of. So just because we like you guys, here's a 1-minute gameplay trailer of Metroid Prime 4. Just to say, hey, 2019, but here's 60 seconds of gameplay, just so you know we're working on it and it's coming next year. Or they could do that with Pokemon, or whatever the case may be. In a terrible world where they delay Fire Emblem, for example, till next year, I think they might even do the same thing with Fire Emblem. But I don't expect them to delay it. You never know, so that could really kind of go either way. But yeah, I mean, that's really the one scenario where I could see Nintendo wanting to give us something on a game for next year. Because again, otherwise, I think we should trust them. They're going to focus on 2019 titles. And unfortunately, I have to say that I think they should, because it would be kind of lame of them to just lie about it for the sake of surprises and say, okay, actually, here's 3 game reveals for 2019. Like, you can't do that. But 60 seconds of one game as a special sort of gift, I think can be delivered to us and not necessarily mean that they're lying or going back on their word about focusing on 2018 titles. Like, in the grand scheme of things, even though I like the occasional tease for the future, I do, and I said this on my video about this as well, I do ultimately like and admire that Nintendo focuses on stuff that's coming out soon, that has a lot of gameplay and details and trailers and information to share with us right now, so we can say, wow, look how complete this game is, I'm so excited for it, and oh my god, it comes out in 4 months, that's amazing. They did that with Samus Returns. That was the most mind-blowing thing ever. I'm so glad that they did that way. Yes, it's exciting to see Metroid Prime 4 for some time in the next 2 years and wonder about when it's going to come out, but it's also just as exciting, maybe more so, to also see Samus Returns revealed for the first time and learn it comes out in 3 months. That's amazing. So it's just one of those things where really, you know, more than one scenario can be true, and more than one scenario, no matter how opposite they are, can be exciting for different reasons. Like, all things can be true in this kind of situation, and that's just personally how I look at things. You know, and I mean, the Smash Brothers focus is exciting. There's obviously going to be a lot to show about that game. To me, this even further confirms this is a brand new Smash Brothers. If this was Smash Wii U Deluxe, they wouldn't spend so much time on it. They would be like, it's the same game you know and love and you've been playing for years. only with some new characters and a new mode. Like, they don't need to make it a focus of their presentation. They don't need to make it a focus of the treehouse immediately following the presentation, which, like I said last year, is exactly what they did with Mario Odyssey. And they definitely wouldn't need to do a Smash Brothers Invitational because it would be the same game we've already seen them do that with. Like, it just really wouldn't make sense. So to me, I am 99.99999% sure this is a new Smash. I was like 80% sure before, but with this information and what we can expect, I'm 99% sure this is a brand new Smash, which is the most exciting. It's like the Wii U Deluxe games, that is exciting. Captain Toad's fine. Donkey Kong, Hyrule Warriors, Bayonetta even, that's great. Like, that's cool, but all right, we're good. You did the Mario Kart 8 thing. Let's do now a new Smash Brothers, and then we should then do a new Mario Kart sometime down the road and all of those things. So that's kind of what I feel. Very excited to see Smash. How are they going to change it up? This has to be the Smash Brothers, you guys, where they significantly change the game. And I don't know how you do that while also making it feel like the Smash we know and love, but still evolve and move the series forward. I don't know. I'm not a game designer. I'm just a fan of games. And I'm just a fan of Smash. And I know what I like in Smash. And I also know I want some new things. And I want to see the game evolve. We've had 4 huge Smash Brothers titles with incremental increases every time. Well, some of them have been bigger than others, to be fair. But still, the main formula has been the same. I think now's the time in the Great Switch era to see how Smash can change. And I think if they have so much time to devote to the new Smash at E3 this year, that means they have something to show us as far as the evolution of Smash. And, you know, maybe I'm wrong, and it's just going to be another Smash game. And honestly, that would still be fine. I think we'd all love it. But a lot of us kind of want to see how the evolution of the series can continue. And so, I don't know. It's going to be really interesting. I cannot freaking wait. And that's kind of my thesis on E3 based on what we've got. I mean, the main takeaway here is my opinion and guess and theory is that the focus on Smash means we're not going to see those other couple of huge franchises. I think Bayonetta might be shown. Depends on when that game's going to be released. Animal Crossing is my dark horse if that's a 2018 game. We're going to see Fire Emblem, Yoshi, and then 1 or 2 other smaller tier surprises. No More Heroes, hopefully. I do want a lot of No More Heroes stuff. And they're going to give us a bunch of indie games, which, you know, the indie community will be very excited about. I expect to see 1 or 2 games that might get me pumped, as somebody who doesn't play too many indie games. And that's it, man. I think it's the Smash Brothers show this year, man. That's what's going on. And what that means for surprises, who knows? But, you know, we're going to see in a couple of weeks. So those are my thoughts. That's how I feel about E3 and the information Nintendo has given us about what to expect for their show this year. It is crazy exciting. E3 is like a month and a half away. Oh my gosh, so excited. I've got all my time off of work booked and ready to go. I'm going to have several days off to be able to game all day, watch all the information, make a couple of videos, and kind of cover it the best I can. I can't do it necessarily as fast or frequently as a lot of other YouTubers and channels and stuff out there. Some of them who are very good friends of mine. They are so on the ball. They've got computers that make videos way faster than mine, all these different things. They do a great job. Mine's going to be a little bit slower. I might get 1 video a day for the week, but hey, I think that's going to be great. I'm excited to do it, man, and I hope that you guys are really interested in it and what I've got to say, and more than anything, just interested in E3, what Nintendo's going to give us, what all companies are going to give us. I'm going to be making a video about Microsoft in the next maybe couple days or a week or so as well, about what could be coming from them, because I'm kind of expecting some big things from Microsoft. I think this is the time where they have to make a huge play, and I think the decision to leave the E3 show floor shows that that's what they're going to do. It's like the Xbox brand, I think, really kind of hinges on this year's E3, like just to understand if Microsoft is dedicated to it or not. So I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. I'm going to make a video about that soon. But anyway, that's what I think about Nintendo Smash Brothers this year at E3. So excited. What do you guys think? What do you predict? What do you think about my theories and everything I laid out in this video today? I want to hear your thoughts. All opinions are welcome. And that is it for me today. Thanks as always for tuning in, guys. This is Rob of Ro2R Review, and I'll catch you next time on another video.